Talk with Gabrielle, Episode 2. It's the show where I walk around my backyard and talk to you. And I'm a poet and didn't know it. So, today is Friday, May 26, 2017. And I was going to share a little bit about what's going on lately that's having these really cool experiences when I go grocery shopping. Grocery shopping is such a benign thing. It's usually kind of boring, right? But I've been having these really cool experiences. I meet people, strangers, and I talk to them, and it's a really fun exchange, usually. Most of the time, it's a really cool exchange. And I'm so grateful for them. And I've been kind of on a roll lately with these really cool exchanges that I'm having with people at the supermarket. Hi, greetings, my friends. Welcome, thank you. Welcome to the Backyard Talk stream with Gabrielle. And so, just a little backstory. I often tell people that I get stared at a lot when I'm out in public because I look very different. You know, I'm very visibly transgender, meaning I don't look like what people's idea or ideal of a woman is. So that's unfortunate. It's a me thing that I do want to pass. It's important to me. It's a me thing, okay? I know a lot of transgender people don't want to pass or don't care if they pass, and that's cool because there's no right way or wrong way to do this. This is a me thing. I want to pass it because I want to look, as female as possible, because then my gender dysphoria might just quiet down for a while. It would feel really good. Again, it's about me, not necessarily how others perceive me, although that would be easier too. So I get stared at a lot, and people are often dismissive of that, saying, "Oh, Gabrielle, they wouldn't stare at you, or if they do, it's probably because they think you're really attractive." And I'm like, "Thank you, that is very kind." It's unfortunate, though, a lot of people, especially cisgender people, are kind of dismissive of the fact that I do get stared at. I get read as trans, or clocked, as some people call it. And it's a thing that happens. It's real. So there's a lot of rubbernecking often when I'm out in public walking, at the grocery store, down the street, at the mall, wherever I go. People stop and stare. Sometimes they bump their friend and point. Every once in a while I get a little bit of laughter. That hasn't been the case so much lately. But despite the fact that people often stare at me as I'm walking around, doing grocery shopping, errands, whatever it is that I'm doing, I usually have really cool exchanges with people. And I had a really cool exchange with there was the granola bar. Hi, welcome to the stream. There was the granola bar lady, it was about a week ago, and I was shopping and she was selling granola. Not the granola bar, it's just granola in a bag. And I wasn't going to buy any because there's it's a lot of calories in the granola that she was selling. But she was such a sweetheart and we had such a beautiful conversation. I could not walk away without taking a bag of granola because she was so cool and spent all that time having a beautiful conversation with me. Just a couple days ago when I was at the grocery store, it's usually Wegmans, by the way, the grocery store that I go at. If you're familiar with the Northeast area here in the United States, Wegmans is a popular grocery chain store. So I was taking my shopping cart back to where you got to put the cart back after you're done shopping, because I'm not one of those jerks who leaves it in the middle of the parking lot so that it bumps into everybody's car. I actually put it back in the place where you put the, where you put the cart corral, whatever it's called. And there was a kind gentleman and an older man, and he's like, "Hey, I'll take that for you." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much. That was so sweet of him to do that." So chivalry is not dead. It's alive and well. And again, the relevance here is I'm very visibly transgender. Most people read me. They can tell that I'm trans, or maybe their mind perceives a man in makeup, unfortunately. So most of the time I have really cool exchanges with people. And today I was at Wegmans again, doing my thing, just shopping, minding my business, and just picking up a few groceries that I forgot to get the other day. And I'm walking by a younger couple by the fresh meat. They have all the fresh packaged meat out. And the young man, his eyes, like a cartoon, almost bopped out of his head as he uncomfortably said to his girlfriend, "That's a man." Yep, nothing subtle about it. That's a man. Of course referring to me, which I could easily tell, with his cartoon eyes popping out of his head like a cartoon would do. In fact, if real life were a cartoon, his eyes would have popped out of his head, and probably hit me in my face, and I would have been like, "Ow, stop that." So I got that today. And it's been a really long time since I got that. In fact, it's probably been about 2, maybe 3 years. The last time it happened that I heard it anyway. I'm sure it happens when I can't hear it all the time. Last time I had it, when I heard it, was a couple of girls walking through the supermarket, and one of them just stops and stands there, and just like with the excitement of like if she had just found Waldo, she said, "That's a man," pointing right up at me, screaming at the top of her lungs. Well, I uncomfortably pause, look around. Am I in any danger? Okay, I'm just going to keep walking. And she wasn't trying to be a jerk or anything like that, you know. She just read me, and like I said, she was like an excited kid who had just found Waldo. But I'm not Waldo. And I'm not a man either. Transgender woman is the term I prefer. Thank you. Difference between biological sex and gender identity, but most people don't know that. Of course, if you're transgender or gender nonconforming, you know all about that. So, that's a man, was the comment. Now, I don't like it when people do that, but I get it. And I want to know, how do you feel about that? Do you think it's an act of aggression when somebody does this? Now, he didn't come after me, he didn't do anything other than say very clearly and loud, at least loud enough for me to hear several feet away, "That's a man." And he was very clearly reacting with surprise, perhaps even fear. He seemed really spooked by it. Spook. You know, well, maybe he was scared because my skin is so pasty white. Maybe he mistook me for a ghost. Or maybe there was a ghost of a man somewhere in the vicinity. I don't know. He definitely looked freaked out, scared, surprised, whatever. What are your thoughts on that? Is that an act of aggression when someone says that's a man? And what kind of context would constitute that? Do you think that what happened to me today, that's a man? You know, when he did that with his eyes all big and popping out of his head like that. Big Bart Simpson eyes. So I shouldn't be judgy. I'm just being silly. I'm being cheeky. Is that an act of aggression? Or was that just somebody reacting with surprise, perhaps a little bit of fear, maybe a little bit of transphobia? I see a thumb going up. So that's kind of my question to you on Backyard Talk, Episode 2. That's a man. And how many of you out there have had similar experiences, either being called out like that or misgendered? I get misgendered from time to time too. It's usually, though, not with the intent of, you know, treating me poorly, or, you know, it's usually not with disrespect attached to it. I think in the back of people's minds, they just, you know, their brain tells them, you know, male. They see the maleness, you know, the male, whatever, the masculinity that I can't do much about right now, despite my best efforts, and their brain just kind of puts in the male pronoun. So that's the main question. That's a man. And has it happened to you, and what do you think's behind it? Do you think he's out there telling people right now, "I was at Wegmans and I saw this woman, but I knew that's a man"? Because here's the other thing too. Even though I don't like it, you know, I hope I'm not sounding judgy or anything like that, or like I'm picking on the guy. I know the psychology behind it. You know, I don't look like what people are expecting me to look like. I get it. And especially when there's like gender, you know, you're crossing that nebulous gender divide, that's breaking all the rules, especially if you're going from male to female. Can't have that. Not in not in the patriarchy that we live in here, where all that is masculine and manly is good and feminine not so much. I'm generalizing. I know not everyone feels like that. And again, the vast majority of people that I meet and see walking down the street are very kind to me. They're respectful, or at least ignore me. But that's what happened today, and I thought I'd share it with you and put it out there. What are your thoughts? That's a man. I can't wait till we get to the point, and I know we're going to get there soon, where it's not a big deal, and people are used to seeing diverse groups of people. You know, people come in all shapes and sizes, all forms of expression, gender expression, personal expression. And when we get to that place and everyone's just being beautifully unique, whatever that, you know, beautifully unique and authentic, whatever that means to them, there's not going to be anyone staring or bugging their eyes out because someone looks so different. Because everyone's going to look so different and unique, and beautifully so. So says I. I know this to be true because I'm already starting to see it happen so much, especially when I go to like high schools and I talk to young people. They're like so much more diverse than in their appearance and the way they express themselves. Okay, I need to trim this bush back if I ever do a Backyard Talk, Episode 3. But I'm seeing younger people express so much more diversity than was allowed back in the 80s when I was young, trying to be the boy that society expected me to be, and failing miserably at it. So I know we're going to get there, not anytime soon. In the meantime, we have to deal with things like this. And I don't like it, but I got a pretty thick skin, so I just took this opportunity to share with you and pick your brains a little bit. I am so sorry that I have a little trouble reading the comments that are coming in. I see your beautiful little bubbles there with your faces in them, and I'm going to go through the comments afterwards, after I'm done recording this, and see if we can get a little discussion going. That's a man. What are your thoughts? I'm going to thank you. If I can limbo, should I do that? Should I limbo under the branches there? We'll save that for episode 3 maybe. Thank you so much for joining me, my friends. I love you all so very much. I'm going to just end by saying this. If you do have an uncomfortable moment out there, or somebody says something inappropriate to you, can you try and take it with grace? When that person said, "That's a man," looking all freaked out, you know what I did? I just kept going about my business. I don't care. People are going to stop. They're going to stare. They're going to say what they're going to say. Sometimes they say what's on their mind and it comes out. Right? I didn't particularly feel threatened by this particular individual. Didn't like what he said, but so what? It's opinion. It's his opinion. Nobody defines who I am but me. That's a universal. Nobody gets to define who you are but you. Alright? So try to take it with grace if somebody says something inappropriate. As long as they're not like directing it at you and looking for drama. And if somebody does give you a little bit of drama, just remember, just because someone invites you into their drama does not mean you need to accept the invitation. Take the high road, walk away, let it go, my friends. And holding the selfie stick is getting a little tired. And I'm just rambling on at this point. So peace and love to you, my friends. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me in my backyard while I walk for Backyard Talk with Gabrielle. Have a beautiful day. Bye.